Good afternoon, everyone. We've been busy at the library since our last board meeting. We have 4 vacancies currently in the library. We will be filling one of them in the next couple of weeks. We hired Neil Staten, who came to us from the Cocoa Beach Library Circulation Department. He will be filling our circulation assistant position. We recently lost a circulation aide. She resigned, so we have that one to fill coming up. Our head of reference is also vacant, and we have interviewed for that one, and we'll be filling that position soon. And we also have a vacant custodian position. He resigned due to health reasons, but we do have a temporary custodian in the position. We did add a library assistant 2 to our youth services department, Melissa La Berthe, and she also came to us from Cocoa Beach Youth Services. So, on the adult programming side, we continue with our monthly book club, card making classes. Our watercolor classes are starting again in September. The artist took a hiatus in the summer, but she's starting back in September. We have senior fitness classes on Wednesday morning. And a couple weeks ago, July 18th, we had a program by Jim Meyer. He was a retired NASA engineer and test conductor, and he gave a nice program on the Apollo missions and his involvement with Apollo and Skylab. On September 12th at 2 p.m., and I gave you all a handout about that, we'll be hosting a program by FPAN with public archaeologist Emily Dietrich, and it's about space archaeology. And Molly was kind enough to pass that program our way. So please come for that if you can, and we're hoping to have a good turnout. On the youth services side, we had a very busy summer, approximately 800 kids participating in June, 600 in July. We had main events on Wednesday afternoons, story times that all revolved around our summer theme, which was a universe of stories. Yeah, so we had a lot of planetary and moon talk and asteroids and a lot of different things going on. We also hosted the City of Cape Canaveral Camp Children on Fridays, and that was also space themed. Currently we have Lego nights on Mondays, and we are already starting to plan for Haunted Library in October, which is something we did last October, and that is in conjunction with the Monster Mash that the City of Cape Canaveral puts on. So, our Friends of the Library continue their weekly book sales, and they did pay for all of our summer youth programs, and also recently bought us DVD cases and other materials. We're moving forward with new flooring in our library. We've chosen LVT and carpeting. Those will be put down in most of the library, carpeting under the bookshelves and DVD shelves. We're also getting repairs and upgrades to our library lobby doors. And we're looking forward to a fun and exciting fall at the Cape Canaveral Library. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Versus the population?
I brought the stats from July of this last year, or this year rather. Let's see. Well, what I can tell you is our attendance was 7,081. We had checkouts of 13,048 books, which is over the previous year by 25%.
When you say attendance, what does that mean?
Our door count, how many people it registers coming in the library, and we actually also got a new door counter that is much more accurate.
July.
That's for the month of July, that figure. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is it safe to use that as a basis and multiply by 12?
Not really, because we're busier when snowbirds are here. Definitely busier starting October through March. So, you're welcome.
No, go ahead. Well, let's say 30 days in a month, into 70 goes, what is it, 200 a day?
It's usually higher than that.
It's more than that.
It's usually in the threes.
They're closed on Sunday plus half day Saturday. So it's a day and a half short, some days
That's
are,
impressive, but if you look at it on a daily basis, some days are, everybody's at work, you're not gonna get very many people, other days are heavy. I don't hate to use it, but I'm just trying to figure out. I think the library, for its size, is doing a wonderful job, and it also reflects on you. That's why I just wanna know what the numbers are. So,
Yeah.
getting back to
for
the
that.
original question, you got a population of 10,003 in the town, approximately. So how many library cards are valid? Or how many, whether, it should be more than the population, I would guess, but maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
That's on a
I just wanna get to
Yeah,
know.
it's on a different report. Library cards is on a different report. I can give you our total borrowers for July. That was 10,195.
And what is that is a phrase I'm not familiar with. What is that?
Patrons with library cards and they're borrowing materials, books,
So
DVDs.
So you had 10,000 people? in Ju-
Active.
in Ju-
active.
Active in July, the month of July.
So that would be the population of the city.
That's-
I wouldn't, I'm not to investigate, I think that's wonderful. I'd leave it just at that. Statistics are amazing. That's pretty
only
good.
active
That's
borrowers.
active
Yeah.
borrowers.
There's
Something to be
also
proud of.
borrowers that become inactive because they expire after 3 years.
Oh, that's another point, right?
Yeah, they can still come in and use other services if they don't have a library card. So active borrowers are only people who are actively borrowing materials. Then there's inactive borrowers who might be expired, and then there's people who just come in to use our services, faxing, scanning, computers.
Wi-Fi.
Okay, but does the 10,000
That's everybody who walked in the door.
in the door?
Yes, sir.
But didn't you say you had 7,081 walking through the door?
Patron attendance, 7,081.
Right, so there's a 3,000 approximately.
Well, active borrowers is 10,195.
Okay, so you should have walking through the door at least 10,000, not 7,081.
No, they could be active and use a different library branch, but their home
All
branch is
right.
Cape Canaveral.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
That's how they keep their card active. They might be over in Vieira and just use the Century Library or something.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps their card active, but their home branch is still Cape Canaveral.
Thank you, ladies. There's a labyrinth, or maybe it's a maze. What?
I mean, for the smaller libraries, there's quite a few of them. This is one of the busier ones, so it is doing its fair share. And we have to also look at the fact that other demographics are different. In other words, we have populations that are able to grow out in other cities where we're landlocked here. We can't really grow out. So these guys and us and everybody beachside, basically we have to attract people from outside of our area in order to increase our numbers. So we have to work harder actually than places who just like Century. They just let the growth takes care of their growth of their statistics because their base just grows on its own. Ours can't really.
No, that's right. That's a point I hadn't considered, but that's right. Anything else you want to tell me? It's kind of interesting.
I don't know. I think as time goes on, we're seeing more and more libraries becoming community centers versus,
Right.
books and checking in and checking out. And as Cocoa Beach has always done, and when I worked at the Palm Bay Library, we always did have massive gatherings, whether it be entertainment, learning, or whatever it is, and enhancing programming. And that's what the goal is for this particular library coming up, is to start enhancing and working like a sister library to Cocoa Beach and working together with sharing our resources more. And that's what direction I'm going in. That's the direction that the American Library Association sees libraries going in. and that's just doing, you know, normal library research.
What
I
about
mean-
the connection then between the school, the grammar school, and reading, and the library and reading? Is there any liaison between,
They come,
I
for
mean, you're busy, but I'm just curious, who's reaching out? Anybody?
They come on field trips sometimes, and also I know Brittany, our youth services librarian, already has a day that she's going to Cape View on, we call it an outreach, to go speak to some of the classes, and most libraries go to their nearest elementary school and let them know what programs we have coming up and all the resources that the library has to offer. So she already has a date planned to go to Cape View.
And the objective is what?
Tell them what programs we have going on for the youth, what types of, books that they can check out, the other things that there are for children, like we have Lego nights on, right now we have Mondays, but she's gonna switch them to Fridays. Some people come in and they go, I didn't know you had computers, on the youth side. I didn't know you were doing a Lego night. I didn't know you had all these DVDs. So by going out and telling them what we have, reaching out.
Capture anything from like Libby and Overdrive.
What do you mean capture?
Statistics?
We do,
They run
yeah, we have some data on that comes,
I don't particularly look at it a whole lot, because it's not really, when it comes to the building, bricks and mortar and what's going on with that, I'm pretty much bogged down in a lot of that stuff, what's going on there.
Like if I check out a book using one of those, then you would know that my card was used, perhaps.
The system knows. I would have to physically go to that report.
there's a few librarians that's their area, so they have the stat, they're from other branches, that's their responsibility is to compile those figures.
And I can give you the stats
Oh, no, I was just
for
curious.
the adult countywide databases. Rosetta Stone's doing very well, by the way. It's doubling it every month. No, but when it comes to connection with the schools, we also have historically ordered reading materials that schools pre-approved, and they have certain like Sunshine State readers and all these different categories for children, young adults that they read. Generally in class or over the summer, whatever it is, we always have that automatically coming to us. So that's already like a set in stone kind of thing. It's been going on for many, many years. But when it comes down to like, I know for Cocoa Beach, sometimes the teachers come to us because they're off in the summer. They'll come in and do a program for the children with our children's summer reading program.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes they do come in and they'll do that. We have lots of tutors that come in and teach children individually too, back in the study areas. And I think these guys do too, and sometimes we
do.
share tutors. We share a lot of the similar customers, if you wanna call it that. So, whether it's a friend or foe, we tell each other, hey, I know that person, hey, to watch out for this person or whatever. And so it's kinda like, keeping our communication open, but also keeping a good hold of where our patronage is, what's going on. Is it getting more, positive, or is there more negative coming in, depending on the season, depending on the people? So that's kind of like what we do.
The port, even though it's not in the town, is the biggest employer. Did they ever reach out to the library? Because I have a corporate background as well as other backgrounds. They're always looking to put money someplace. And it's part of their public responsibility, or did they ever approach the library and say, want a gift? Yeah, I've seen that. Are you looking to expand the collection? Is there some part of the collection that you say, well, maybe we should expand that? Because you said whatever you're doing is attracting more adult users. Is there some area you're looking to expand?
Well, we're always buying new books, which also means we have to, we call it weeding, delete books that have not circulated in recent years, so we have room for new books. So I've been trying more heavily on space
I would think you'd probably, I don't have to say, I guess you'd welcome gifts from Kennedy Space Center with, to be displayed or something along those lines, or a collection from them of their own stuff. There's work to be done. It's just, opportunity, not work. We should be doing some of that work. But the question is, we will think about that, I guess. How do you do it? Got a lot of brains in this room, all six of us.
Depends on what the size of the.
Right, you don't want a space motor, right?
There's that, is it a donation or is it just a monthly display? 'Cause
Mhm.
donations are great, but then there's nowhere to put the stuff after we've had it for 20 years. That's what everybody knows from Cocoa Beach, we have these great donations when they, open up the new building and it's now the same thing. It's 30 years later, it's like, okay. Now what do you do with it? But, with a small library, what's good is to have things revolving, coming in and out. So we get to see this for 30 days, it goes out, because there's really no room for storage kind of thing, so that's like super fantastic. I think I mentioned to you guys last month or a few weeks ago, the Historical Commission, which is housed in the Central Library, has a collection of space shuttle photographs throughout the years.
Mhm.
They have the whole collection, the whole array, so you might be able to get that displayed at that point. We have locals that have their own collection space up too that are willing to put things on display. Donations as of, help build the collection or help remodel things, that is very much welcome. We never deny any actual money, only because we're still, where you guys were in recession, but, we're still building back the money that was reduced from that era, from '07, '08, and '09. And one of the things they reduced first were supplies first, office supplies, operating supplies, and then the second year was collection. The third year was people. So we're getting back to our people levels, but the dollars in our actual collection we automatically get from the county is still less than when we started. So yeah, we certainly wouldn't say anything negative about that.
Any questions? I don't know. I have one last question. The grounds around the library, they're quite extensive. They could be beautified a little bit more, and it would enhance the community around it. But who's in charge of the maintenance of the grounds?
The city
City.
takes care of the grounds. Everything outside, the city takes care of.
Has the garden club ever approached anybody?
Do you have a garden club?
I think you do. I have the Brevard delivers, and it's got a lot of stuff in here.
We
I'll
have
have
a
to look a little
community
bit further.
gardener group, is that what you're referring to?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you referring to the community gardener group?
Right, yes, I saw that, and I know they have a plot someplace.
Yeah, that's over on Long Point Road. That's not, I wouldn't say that that's something that we wouldn't venture to explore, but we have a lot of different things coming up, including Whimsy Park, that has been discussed at several of the last strategic planning meetings.
Oh, I
That's
see.
going to be going in over there, so there's a lot of things coming up.
Where their
regards to-
services could be required.
No, many of those people are just families. There's
Right.
some families with kids. For what we would probably want to do, it would be on a professional capacity, as far as we have maintenance staff and we have contractors that would do the landscaping work. Because that'll be in conjunction with the park. If you review the last strategic planning meeting, the minutes from that, they go into some of the detail, and from the one before as well.
Well, thank you.
I believe they even had renderings.
Oh, wonderful. I'll take a look.
Okay, anybody have anything else? So then I'm gonna pick up this hammer, and I'm gonna put it down, and I'm gonna go ahead.
The
We
next.
are adjourned.